So yeah, he bit me like right after I signed adoption papers. After that, a couple more times, he did bite me and a few of my friends as well, unfortunately. Hi everyone, my name is May. I'm a volunteer with SOSD for the last 5 years. I started out as a fosterer and then I went on to do rehoming of the dogs that we have. And I finally also adopted my own dog. He's a senior dog lying right in front of me right now. He's 12 years old this year and I adopted him 3 years ago when he was 9 years old. His name is Rusty. So Rusty had been in the shelter for the last 6 years before I adopted him. When he was rescued by Dr. Sue, he was estimated to be about 3 years old. And I brought him in at 9 years old when I needed a companion for my other foster dog that had pretty bad anxiety. And so we needed Rusty to come in to be a companion to my other dog, Smudgy. And when Rusty actually came into my house, Smudgy did so much better and his anxiety went away. So then I ended up having 2 dogs in my house for the first time. So the adoption process for me was fairly straightforward because I had already been a fosterer with SOSD for a while now. I was always fostering because my living arrangement wasn't permanent. I was living in a rental flat, so I wasn't sure whether I could adopt a dog long term. That's why I decided to foster instead. So when I got Rusty was when I had already moved to my new place and I knew that it was a permanent living arrangement. And I think opportunity, timing and luck all came together very nicely when Rusty came into my life, and I knew I could have him for long term and for the rest of his life, and that's when I decided to adopt him and call him my own. There it is. Rusty! Yeah, come here! Rusty, come! Okay, so I think the challenge mainly with Rusty is that he's pretty bad with unfamiliar people and strangers. So the challenge is not so much to manage him out of this behavior, but more of to manage the people that are going to come to my house, and when I have visitors coming over, I have to make sure that my people are quite guai and they follow instructions just to make sure that nobody gets hurt at the end of the day. I mean, the last thing we really want is a bite when it could have been prevented. So when I have visitors like children and kids that come over, I either have him in a muzzle, otherwise I'll keep him in a room with aircon and music and a beautiful bed for him to lie and rest in. Then he can feel safe in his room. At the same time, my visitors can feel safe as well without the risk of being bitten. So I think the challenge with him is more of unfamiliar people and making sure that everyone is safe and no one gets bitten. So I went really slow with Rusty and I made sure that I never pushed him above threshold. That's when a dog could potentially nip, growl or even bite. I was very slow with him because people at the shelter already know what Rusty is like. So they were really detailed when they told me what he was like, and so I could prepare myself to welcome him into my home. And I think that really helped having other people that knew him before I did. So I built a bond with him by walking with him, performing petting consent tests to make sure that he consented to the pets rather than me going over to touch him without his consent. And I think over time he could trust me. He knew that whenever he saw me, good things would happen. And so yeah, over time it all just blossomed into a very nice, healthy relationship. I was actually in my bedroom sleeping, but I had a CCTV camera outside the living room, and I saw how he slept on the first few nights after coming home from the shelter in my house. He was actually sleeping completely belly up and on his bed that he had learned to sleep on. It took him no time to get used to a home environment, and having slept on really hard cold floors at a shelter for the last 6 years of his life, which is almost half of his entire lifetime, and then seeing him sleep belly up, which meant that he was comfortable, he felt safe, and it was really cute because all 4 paws were like up in the air, and it really warmed my heart. And I think that was also one of the moments when I realized that he was a special dog to me, and it was only after that then I had started to consider keeping him forever. And last but not least, there is a QR code in front of you on your tent card on the table in front of you, and I really hope that you can please try to donate to SOSD. We have so many dogs at SOSD, I think close to 250 dogs that are under our care now, both at Sungai Tengah Shelter as well as at Jurong Island. So every dollar counts, no matter how small or how big your amount is. I please urge you to please donate to SOSD. Thank you very much.